Over the past few years, we've all been witness to a rare occurrence, the birth and then the thriving success of a new form of motorsports entertainment, monster truck competition. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee in the cab of what we could argue to be the most recognizable and certainly the largest monster truck in the world, Bigfoot. Now, this beauty is Bigfoot number 5. It's the largest of the Bigfoot family of monster trucks. It is on display outside the birthplace and the developmental center on the cutting edge of monster truck design, performance, and manufacture. We're at the Midwest Four-Wheel Drive and Performance Center in St. Louis, owned and operated by Bob and Marilyn Chandler. Now, I've always had this secret desire to drive Bigfoot, but they take no chances here in St. Louis. There's no key in the ignition. For the next hour, we'll take an exciting look at the king of the monster trucks. We'll see how these trucks are designed, manufactured, modified, and maneuvered. Maybe they could teach me how to drive Bigfoot. We'll talk to the men and women that keep these trucks in the forefront of this phenomenon that's sweeping the nation. Now, as I mentioned before, this is Bigfoot number 5. There are 10 Bigfoot vehicles, all designed and constructed for ultimate performance in a specific event. Now, before we get started, and to give me a chance to figure out how to get down from here, let's take a look at the champions in the Bigfoot stable. After all, it takes some kind of program to put the faces with the names. We're now in the shop area of Bigfoot 4x4 with Bob Chandler, the owner and creator of Bigfoot. Bob, I think the popularity of monster trucks right now coincides with the general popularity of four-wheel drive vehicles, particularly the pickup trucks. And everyone watching us right now with a four-wheel vehicle would love to do what you do with Bigfoot. But let's talk about, if you will, the general differences between, say, a stock Ford pickup truck and the monster truck.
Well, we started out with, years ago, with Bigfoot 1, 2, and 3. That was our first series of trucks. And they were basically a stock Ford frame, basically a stock body. We used a 460 engine with a supercharger on it. We used a C6 automatic transmission that we beefed up a little bit. We have progressed to this truck here, which is Bigfoot 4, and we've put a straight rail frame, which is much stronger. We've tried to lighten the body up, lighten the components up. We've got a bigger engine in it, better suspension, and it's progressing every year.
Can you give us a tour? You be the tour guide and walk us around this monster truck.
Okay, this is one of our first racing trucks, let's say. And what we started out here was with a different type of frame. It's a straight rail frame. It's a stronger. This truck has more air time. It's up in the air more than the other vehicles. So what we've done is added a longer spring to it, so we have more travel out of it, which involves longer shocks. The more suspension travel you have, the better the truck will handle. We started out with a basic 5-ton military housing, and what we put on it is a planetary. This is a gear ratio right here at the tire. It relieves all the components behind that. So instead of breaking axles, it'll break parts in the locker, which it rarely does. Then we've gone to start out with a basic 460 engine again, but we've beefed this one up quite a bit. It's over 500 cubic inch. We've gone to a bigger BDS blower on it. We've got 3 Predator carburetors. The other ones only had 2. So this truck puts out a lot more horsepower, and it performs a lot better than the old trucks.
One question that I have been asked several times at these events, what does 4x4x4 mean?
Well, 4x4x4, a 4x4 rather, is a 4-wheel drive truck. There's 4 tires on the ground, 4 tires supposedly pull. The extra 4 that we've added is 4-wheel steering. Our truck does not only turns in the front, but it also turns in the rear, so it's a 4x4x4.
Now, was this a creation one night Bob Chandler can't go to sleep and the wheels are turning and this idea pops out?
No, I was at a Gravel-Rama years ago with my first truck, and a Rockwell engineer came up to me and he started telling me about the components, the Rockwell parts under this thing. And we sat underneath this truck for at least an hour and a half, and he was explaining to me how the military wanted these things built. The front and rear, they're basically the same sizes. What they wanted to do is if somebody broke one of their deuce-and-a-half trucks or 5-ton trucks, they could take the front component, the front axle out of one truck and stick it in the rear, lock it straight, and go back down the road. And that kept bugging me all the way home from this Gravel-Rama show. And then when I got home, I said, I got to try that, but I'm going to put steering in the rear. And it took us one day to try this out. And we went out on the street, and we were laughing so hard we had tears in our eyes because it's such a weird feeling to go sideways.
So the rear steering, the hydraulic steering, is something of your design. You didn't copy it from another vehicle.
No, that is something that we did ourselves. It's been changed probably 4 or 5 times from the beginning, but it is our design, yes.
Now, for all of us that have seen the drivers maneuver Bigfoot in person, we see the left arm outside the cab because the toggle switch for rear steering is just inside the window. But it wasn't always there, was it?
No, I used to have it on the floor. I had 2 buttons that I operated with my left foot. And at that time, I was still street driving the vehicle. Normally, I would lock the rear steering with a pin in the tie rod. Well, I didn't have it locked this time, and I'm going down the road about 40, 50 miles an hour, and my foot sat on that button. And all of a sudden, I was going sideways down the road. I run somebody off the road. Luckily, nobody was hurt. But from that point on, we went to the steering on the column. Well,
Bob, some of the modifications to Bigfoot are not visible. Take this sound here. That's not sheet metal. That's fiberglass.
Yeah, we started with some fiberglass components on Bigfoot 4. We've got a bed and a door right now. We've got some of the trucks that have fiberglass hoods and front ends. We're working on a mold for the fiberglass cab right now. The fiberglass is not necessarily a weight-saving factor for us. It's more a durability factor. You take a metal body, when these big tires hit them, it buckles the whole body. You destroy the whole side of the bed or whatever. Fiberglass is a lot more durable.
You have been the innovator. Now, do you share your secrets? If someone is starting to build their own monster truck, do you have a set of plans they might acquire, or will you answer questions as to how something should be done?
I usually answer any questions they want to ask. I've talked to people all over the world, from Saudi Arabia to Australia to Japan to Germany to England, and a lot of people in the United States. I like the competitive edge. I like having a lot of other trucks around. It helps my business also, so I will share with anybody, yes.
But once you do something new, you can't put a tarp over it. You go up for the first competition, everybody sees it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We do a lot of new things. We try a lot of new things, innovations, and we try to hide them for a while we're proving them to see if they work. You know, we don't go out and test a vehicle on a track. We go out and test it on our own somewhere, and then it goes out in front of the public if it works. And then if it's good, it gets copied.
All right, stay with us. When we return, we'll take a look at Bigfoot 5, the biggest monster truck in the world.
Monster Monster Truck fans, this is the video you've been waiting for. This is Bigfoot, king of the monster truck. 60 minutes of non-stop monster truck action that will blow you away. It's all new, brand new. You'll see it all from car-crushing heroics to dangerous monster truck rollovers, heart-pounding wheel stands, monster truck drag racing, hill climb, music videos, and Bigfoot deep in the mud. Witness the first car crush ever and ride in the cab with Bigfoot as he pours on the power, plus much, much more. Nothing stops this giant muscle machine as he flies through the air, jumping cars and smashing everything in his way. This is the video that everyone's talking about. This is the ultimate in monster truck excitement. This is Bigfoot, king of the monster truck. This offer not available in stores, so order yours today. Have your charge card ready and call now 1-800-445-1448 to get your copy of Bigfoot, king of the monster trucks for $24.95 plus shipping and handling. Call now and get a Bigfoot cap free with every paid order. This offer not available in stores, so call now 1-800-445-1448. It's incredible.
As I mentioned before, this monster is Bigfoot number 5, the largest monster truck in the world. But what I didn't mention was it will always be the largest monster truck for one simple reason. These tires, over 10 feet tall, they weigh over 1 ton apiece. They're unique and irreplaceable. And like everything else to do with Bigfoot, these tires have quite a history.
Well, currently on Bigfoot 5, we run tires that came from an Alaskan land train, something that the U.S. Army had in late 1950s, I believe. I was doing a show in Seattle about 5 years ago, and I went to a military junkyard between 2 shows. And Ken Kelling, one of my drivers, saw these tires on the trailer, and he come over and got me out of a different part of this yard, and I couldn't believe that there was such a tire this way, this big of a tire. We looked at them for quite a while, trying to figure out how we could use them, and we ended up going to the owner of the yard and to see what he'd want for the tires, and he told me $30,000. I says, no, thank you. The next year I was back there again doing a show, so I went back in and asked the guy how much he wanted for his tires. It's the same thing, $30,000, so I just kind of give up on him. The following year I had Jim Kramer go up and do the show in Seattle, so I was talking to him on the phone one of the days that he was up there, and I suggested he go in there and offer the guy $1,000 just to see what he'd say. He called me back in an hour, and he says, the guy says, fine.